Florida just made a massive move to protect potential homeowners that could end up saving them thousands of dollars when they purchase a property. In this video, we're going to break those changes down. So as a potential property owner in Florida, you know how you're protected now and you know how to save all this money. Before we do, make sure to click like, subscribe, and share the YouTube channel so other people can find the same valuable content. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Chris with the Flood Insurance Guru, and more than 12 years ago, I bought a house just like this in a high-risk flood zone. I was told premiums were going to be $3,000 when they should have been $300. So I've been helping homeowners, real estate investors just like yourself the last 12 years. Today, we're talking about this new property disclosure law in Florida. What does it do? How is it going to protect property owners? How can it save them thousands of dollars? So let's break it down. We've got the full blog in the description of this video as well. So what we're talking about here now is this new Florida law that you have to disclose. If you've ever taken disaster assistance on your property, you have to disclose if you've ever filed a flood insurance claim in Florida for flood damage, whether it be with the National Flood Insurance Program or private flood insurance. This is huge in Florida because, look, it's a very volatile market in Florida. And so one claim could completely kick you out, especially on private flood insurance. Multiple claims could put you on a severe repetitive loss property in Florida. So this law is a huge step in the right direction. Now let's compare it a little bit to Texas, who passed this law several years ago. Then we're going to talk about long-term impacts in Florida, impacts across the country. So in Texas, back in, I think it was 2020, the same law was passed. Very similar, but it went a little bit further. So it also had to state what flood zone a property is in. It had to state if it was near any reservoirs and a few other things as well, because that's such a problem with people covering up claims after hurricanes where people would go about a property. I claim what happened, come to find out the property had actually flooded 6 times before because they had covered it up when the property was renovated. That's a little bit how the Texas and the Florida laws are similar and different. Now let's talk about impacts. We talked about big impacts it made in Texas with property owners. We've talked briefly now about some of the impacts it made in Florida. What about the rest of the country? Well, this is a push in the right direction, you see, because there's a lot of coastal states that don't have these disclosure laws, like Alabama, like Georgia, areas along the coastal states like South Carolina, New York even, where you don't have to disclose these things, which means that when someone goes to buy this property, they could be stuck forever. We see it every day, especially in areas like Myrtle Beach that's been hit 5 hurricanes over the last few years where people are really limited on their options. So those are some of the potential impacts in these states. So if you're not in one of these disclosure states, what should you do? You should still ask for this information when you're negotiating the purchasing price of a house. Talk to your real estate agent and tell them, hey, ask, has a property ever flooded since you owned it or lived in it? You're still asking these questions, so they don't have to disclose if you don't ask. But typically, if you ask, they have to still at least be honest with you. And this is a way, as a property owner, that you could help protect yourself. Because look, you don't want to get into this property, you have a flood claim, only to find out it's the 3rd or 4th claim, and now you fall on that severe repetitive loss list. You have to do all this mitigation. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars. Or maybe you can't get disaster assistance because something wasn't followed correctly last time. At the Flood Insurance Guru, we see that every day. We help people not just with their flood insurance, but mitigating their properties, changing their flood zones, and looking at all these things. Guess what? A flood claim could also impact your huge ability to change your flood zone down the road. So you really want to pay attention to these things. So if you're a property owner, if you're a real estate investor in a coastal state, comment below. Let us know what you think about this new law and how it can help protect you, potential homeowners, potential real estate investors. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Remember, everybody's in a flood zone. It's just a matter of how much water gets to you.